If you're watching this video, chances are that you own a general contracting business or a roofing business and you're a contractor, a business owner who just wants to add more revenue to his company and actually have not only more leads coming into his own business, but actually have more clients and make more money. Now, you're in for a treat today because, as you read on the title, this is the exact case study, the exact step-by-step process that I followed in order to make one of my clients, one of my remodeling contractors, $87,000 in just 67 days, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I know that there's a lot of other contractors around different types of industries and different types of locations who make a lot of money, and these numbers are just, the day-to-day basis, right? But in this case, for this contractor, it means the world for them because we are essentially just saving their entire business, right? And so if you're one of the contractors who maybe is in a great spot and just wants to make more money, or if you're a contractor who is maybe starting out, maybe you already have a lot of experience in the industry, but just wants to get, I would say, a more recurrent revenue, more predictable into your business, this is the video because I'm going to show you exactly the things that I look after and the things that I did in order to make this contractor a lot of money. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So I'm sharing my screen and you can already see the title, how I made $87,000 for one of my clients in 67 days. And this is a remodeling contractor case study, but honestly, if you own any other type of general contracting business, such as roofing, landscaping, or whatever the thing may be, it can apply, because at the end of the day, it's kind of the same niche, and I even work with those types of niches. So it is kind of the same at the end of the day. So yeah, it will essentially apply to any of those, right? Now, before actually starting out, I want to show you a little bit things that we're gonna touch, because I've made a little bit of an schematic so that I can essentially explain the things for you to understand it as much as possible. And so you can see right here, we have the preparation, which is the onboarding phase. We have the delivery, which is gathering feedback. We have the iterate part, which is adapting the service based on the contractor needs, because at the end of the day, every contractor is different, everyone wants a different thing, and everyone just likes working a different way. So we really have to mold a little bit the service in order to make that happen. And then, since we already have everything in place, it's time for the results, when everything just takes into account the snowball in this case, which I made a kind of an example in here. But essentially, once we have all those systems in place, it's just a matter of time to get results in place. So let's get straight into the phase number one, which is the preparation and onboarding. Now, the preparation and onboarding doesn't really take anything into account about the information of the contractor or anything like that. In fact, I always try to keep it as anonymous as possible. But whenever I try to talk about the onboarding phase, is essentially just meeting with the contractor, getting to know what they want, getting to know where they want to reach, right? Because there are a lot of contractors who just have one location because they're a family-owned business. But there are other contractors who have multiple locations and they're more of a franchise, right? So you really have to take into account the type of contractor that you're working with, right? And here is where the onboarding phase comes in. And so we have to be clear with where you're at with your business right now. So with that being said, we know a little bit about the contractor. We know if they're a family-owned business, if they're more of a franchise, if they're more of essentially the goal that they want to reach, right? Now it's time for us to set up a great landing page, right? And what is a landing page? Well, this is essentially a page, kind of a website to drive a lot of traffic, a lot of people into it, right? And this includes not only building a nice looking website with lots of proof, before and afters, and some reviews, but really pointing out the why. This is really important. They should work with you. They should buy from you, right? And with a clear call to action, right? And you want to really be clear, right? So what this essentially means is that I've just put a little bit of an example in here from this is in fact the business that I've did this kind of money for. But essentially you want to be clear. Okay, we are located in the Bay Area. So we said Bay Area is best known, for example, right? And so then we really want to point out, okay, what is this business specialized in? So they're specialized in kitchen, bathroom, and flooring, right? And they're a remodeling contractor. They just do this. We are not generalizing, we are specializing. And whenever you really want to sell something, you need to be a specialist and not a generalist, right? Unless you have this big franchise that you can just straight up run a lot of marketing into it, because the word of mouth and trust in the brand and all that stuff really comes into account. But with this specific case, this business just had 1.5 years in business, essentially, right? So they were really new, even though the contractor had a lot of experience in the making and a lot of experience in the industry. This business just had nearly 2 years of life itself, right? So it shouldn't be an excuse that, oh, I'm new, or it doesn't really matter if you're new or not. But let's get back straight into the website. You want to be clear. So you want to say, okay, this is the reason why you want to work with me. Bang, here there's a survey that you can actually fill out and put what are you looking for, right? And so here you want to show proof. Now, there are different ways of showing proof. For example, in here, we have some badges where essentially you're just saying, okay, this is a home advisor trusted company. We have some Facebook reviews. We have Angie's reviews. We are elite. We are, a remodeling company you can trust, right? And so we are experienced remodeling company. And here is the why we are experienced. And then you, again, want to be clear. This is not the whole website. There's essentially more information on the website, but I just put kind of the key things in order to make a website successful or a landing page successful, right? And then in here, you want to be clear. Get started within 5 easy steps. This is our process, right? Initial phone call, free quote, free in-home consultation, construction agreement, and then brings home your beloved home, right? And then in here, essentially, the lead can just select a day and a time to schedule a phone call consultation and follow up with yourself, right? Now, if you have more experience, right? In this case, I have different types of contractors. You can put your reviews, right? So you can literally just put kind of a widget and show all the Google reviews that you have. As you can see here, this contractor has 57 reviews, right? And not even taking into account the reviews from Yelp, the reviews from Google, the reviews from Facebook. So this contractor has a lot of years into business, right? And you don't only want to show off a little about, showing proof that you know what you're talking about, but also showing, and I'm going to point it out here, proof of who you are, right? And you want to really talk a little about your story, for example. So you want to really point out the reasons why they should work with you, but also you should introduce a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the team in this case. And so here I didn't put the image, but a little bit about the owner itself, which in this case is Wilfredo Portillo. So you want to not only be a blank business, but essentially be the contractor that new people, whenever visits your website, they see you like not only the authority, but someone that they can actually trust, right? And so here we have different types of examples, right? You can make a video kind of showing a little bit the kitchen that you did, or the roof that you did, or the bathroom, right? And showing the whys, the house, and the whens, right? About the remodel in this case. You can even put a photo of yourself in here to establish some trust. And in fact, the CQR kitchen and bath specialists, they know because they're people you can trust, right? And so again, you want to be clear. This is the landing page. You want to show a little bit of proof. You want to show who you are, because at the end of the day, people like to buy from other people. And once they see, okay, this is the guy that is behind CQR Kitchen and Bath, if I want to contact them, I know that I have here a form where I can put my contact information and just reach out to them and book a quote. Now, this is something that a lot of businesses I've seen that they have it, right? They have the form right at the top of the website. But the reason why you want to have the form at the top of the website is because you want to make sure, you want to give information to that lead that, hey, if you want to reach out to me, here's the form. But people usually doesn't reach out directly to yourself, right? They want to really see who you are before reaching out to you. And so here is where really the customer testimonials in this case takes into account. Here is where information about the kitchen and a little bit about the points itself, about, showing a little bit of information, a little bit of proof that you know what you're talking about, right? And so this is just the first step of the funnel, the first step of the onboarding sequence itself, right? Because you have to take into account that whenever you're trying to build a website, whenever you're trying to build a landing page in order to make people contact you, so become essentially leads that you can actually reach and talk with, you have to take into account that you're taking a prospect who doesn't even know that you exist, and you are making or you're closing a bridge with the new coming lead and your business. And that bridge is the marketing, is the landing page, is your reviews, is your essentially your social image, right? And so whenever you're trying to establish trust, right, you have to take into account all these types of things. Now here, what can happen if you're a contractor in your case who's starting out, you can say, okay, but I don't have Google reviews or I don't have Facebook reviews because I forgot to ask to my clients to leave me a review. Well, that's no problem whatsoever. You can not only ask them to leave you a review in order to not only set up a little bit about your social profile itself, but you can also just say, okay, I don't have the Google reviews right now, but I can provide trust with different ways, right? Not only with reviews, which usually is the kind of, I would say, the factor that makes the lead contact you, but you can close the gap with something different, such as talking a little bit about yourself, telling a little bit about your story, right? Or telling a little bit about with a video of yourself at the kitchen that you remodeled or at your showroom or whatever thing may be, showing your expertise, right? So at the end of the day, it's not only about the reviews, it's all about knowing what you're talking about, right? And so you want to build a nice looking website, right? Not to look good, but to establish trust pre-estimation, right? Because the only thing that matters is you going to the house or the home of the homeowner and actually being the contractor that the homeowner thought, okay, this is the one, right? Because it is, I'm going to show you not in a study, but I mean, proven information that people goes to up to 3 different types of contractors before actually making a decision, right? And so if you can close that gap to just them contacting you because you are the one, if you can close that gap, you're just going to make more money, right? And so at the end of the day, it's all about optimizing for conversions and not for looks. Of course, you want to look great, of course, but you want to optimize for conversions. And what this means is that you want to be clear. You want to say, hey, this is myself, this is my business, these are before and afters, here's how you can reach to me, right? Or again, showing a little about yourself, showing a little about your process, showing a little about reviews, showing a little about the team, showing a little about the story, and boom, be clear, okay? And you will essentially just convert way more people into your website. And now, also, there's another different type of conversion landing page, which is setting up a trustful social media profile, right? And it doesn't need to have a large following. This is super important, right? You don't need to have like those accounts with 1,000 followers or 1,000,000 followers. In fact, this account, which is the account from the contractor, as you can see right here, 51 followers, right? And you can read this here. They had 0 followers when we started, right? So at the end of the day, it is not about having a lot of followers. It is not about having a lot of reviews. It is not about anything, right? You just have to be clear, right? And so here you kind of say the reasons why they should work with you, right? So we save our clients thousands with our kitchens, bathrooms, and flooring remodels because this business specializes in low ticket. In a way, it is not low ticket, but it's kind of an easy or affordable kitchens, right? And as you can see here, kitchens below. So you can literally see that they build kitchens from the name and their kitchens are below the price, right? And so this is the first reason why a prospect, why a new coming lead should contact you, because you say, hey, here's the thing that differentiates me from all my competitors, right? And the first thing that you can clearly see is maybe the price. But then you see at their quality of work, I mean, I don't know if you can actually see it great, but you can see a great kitchen and a great customer review in this case, and you can see great flooring jobs, right? And so it's about that. It's about showing proof that you're a trustful business, right? And so here you can see some contractors working. Here it's just kind of an advertisement video around the San Francisco Bay Area, which is where they work. And again, a customer review and all that stuff. So it's about setting up those profiles, setting up those nice looking websites, and showing off a little bit about yourself. Again, you don't require a lot of following. You just need to build that bridge of trust within the prospect and your business. Now, the onboarding phase is done. Now it's actually time for the delivery and to gather feedback from the contractor in this case, right? And so the delivery is not just about setting up everything in terms of websites, socials, and profiles, but setting up the software and service that you're going to use. And most importantly, constant communication between each party. And this is the most important thing, right? The reason why this contractor succeeded and the reason why any company succeeds or any local business succeeds is because the owner or the CEO or the CFO or whoever the guy may be in charge of the business has constant communication with the people that is working with. And what I mean by that is that you don't need a marketing agency to work with yourself, or you don't need myself to make you the entire marketing system, right? But you need that guy, that tech guy, that has constant communication with yourself in terms of feedback and in terms of saying, okay, do you like the website? No, I would think that I would make it more personalized in the way that I like. And then it's about, talking with the guy that is essentially delivering the service and saying, okay, I like this, I don't like that. This lead was great, this other lead wasn't that great. And so essentially it's all about gathering feedback and it's all about constant communication between each party, which is the most important thing, right? Now, once you have everything set up, by which I mean that you have your website, you have your social media profiles, you have everything just looking good, you can actually drive traffic to it, right? And so there are different ways of driving traffic to your business, right? It can either be from branding, which is organic, which is kind of the slow way, but essentially just the way that will make your business rich, which is running with your truck you can just slap your company logo at the truck that you use, or billboards, or word of mouth, or for example, running, I would say, as a sponsor for your sports local team, right? And so it's about essentially just doing some branding so that you can make as much people know about your business, right? Because at the end of the day, you want leads and you want people to come into your business. And even though they're not really efficient and it's difficult to track where the leads are coming from, they can maintain you. And that is the thing, right? I'm gonna make this line straight. Okay, they can maintain you. And what I mean by that is that word of mouth will not grow the business, but will maintain it. Because at the end of the day, if you deliver a great job, if you deliver something great for a homeowner, they will trust you. And if they have a problem in the future, they will call you, or they will essentially refer your business to a friend who would also benefit from your services, right? But once you actually want to scale your business, maybe you don't have the word of mouth in place, maybe you don't have enough traction, or maybe you just want to grow your business to open a new location, right? And so if you want to do that, it's about digitalizing your brand locally. And what I mean by that is that building a website and ranking for SEO. And what I mean by that is that keywords that people search for, so you appear at the top of their search. And what I mean by that, for example, if you're located in this case, Walnut Creek, California, so the thing that people could search for Walnut Creek in California is kitchen remodeling contractor in Walnut Creek, right? And so you want to build these types of websites with a lot of information to appear at the top of Google, so that when a new prospect is actually searching for those services, you can appear right there and actually just get a free organic lead. Then, if you want to put that on a steroids, I would say you can even run Google keywords paid ads. So essentially you take this keyword, for example, kitchen remodeling contractor in Walnut Creek, and you pay for that keyword every single day, so that whenever someone searches for it, you are going to literally appear at the top no matter what, because you're paying for that keyword, right? Now, you can either also run Facebook and Instagram paid ads, or even Angie paid ads, right? Now, I'm not really a fan of paying for Angies. I know that there's a lot of contractors who have had essentially a bad experience with them, but also I know a lot of contractors who have had a bad experience with Facebook, Instagram, or even SEO companies, right? But at the end of the day, it really depends on where you feel more comfortable, right, working on, and gives you the highest return on investment, right? And what I mean by that is that if you've been like 10 years with just a Facebook profile, you probably have like, I don't know, 40 reviews on that Facebook profile, right? So why shouldn't you run paid ads on Facebook instead of running paid ads, for example, on Angie's? It doesn't really make sense, right? Because all your following is on Facebook. So you should focus on that. Or let's say that you have your own website and you've been like, I don't know, 20 years with those websites, right? And you've been getting organic leads, outbound leads that are contacting you from Google. So the thing that would make more sense for yourself is actually paying for Google services, right? And so it's not about the place, but it's more about what you feel comfortable with and the thing that can give you the highest ROI. Now, if you're a busy contractor, which all of you contractors probably are, I mean, I've talked with a lot of them and all of them are always busy, but you're going to need someone or something to help you follow up or notify you whenever a new lead comes, right? Helping you keep them warm. And that's exactly what we did with, in this case, Kitchens Below, which was the company that we were working on. Whenever you get a new lead, you will be probably driving with your car, or you will be probably delivering an estimate or talking with someone on the phone or whatever the thing may be. So we cannot expect to have you 24/7 on the phone looking if you got a new lead, right? And so the onboarding phase and the service delivery phase, which is the phase where we get feedback from the contractor, is the phase where we will essentially notify and help the contractor follow up with those leads, call the leads, and set appointments with them. Because at the end of the day, we can provide you as much leads as you want, but if they're not qualified or they don't schedule estimates with yourself that you can actually give them an estimate, it doesn't really matter, right? So you will need something or someone to help you out on that. Now, if you ever tried paid ads, you would have noticed that ads on Google are really expensive, but the leads are high quality in a way, right? Or if you ever run ads on Facebook and Instagram, you would have noticed that even though being expensive, because at the end of the day, running ads, it's quite expensive, you would have gotten way more volume of leads, right? Way more volume of leads, but those leads being less qualified. Now, the truth is that even though Facebook and Google are different, if you really know what you're targeting, and what I mean by that is if you really know the ideal prospect that wants to buy from yourself, there should be no issues whatsoever whenever you're trying to run paid ads, because the only thing that matters is the targeting. And so if you're missing on the targeting the audience, you're not gonna essentially make any money at all, because targeting is king. And if you're not targeting the right area and you're not targeting the right people, you're essentially wasting your time, right? And so the only thing that we look after for contractors is that once we know that we're targeting the right area and we're targeting the right people, we know that it's just a matter of time to get as much results as possible, right? Because what's the point on selling to broad people or unprepared people, right? It's just a waste of time, right? What you want to do is sell to high income people that can actually afford your services and that can actually get into proper conversations with the contractor or the sales rep that you have, right? So in order to reach this kind of people, you need to have this king targeting in order to make it happen. Now, here's where we get into the next phase. The next phase is pretty much really simple, and it's essentially iterating based on what the contractor needs. And once we were actually targeting the right people, the right areas, and what I mean by that is only high income areas that we knew that people could afford our services, because again, what's the point on advertising literally everywhere? It doesn't really make sense. But whenever you're trying to grow your roofing or remodeling business, we have to take into account how big your business is, right? Does it have multiple locations, or is just a family business that has just one single location? Are you specialized in just one thing, or you are a generalized contractor? And what I mean by that is that it is different from being a specialist from a generalist, right? People will always take you way more serious if you know just from one thing and you know really good what you're talking about, that you just do painting, flooring, roofing, kitchens, bathrooms. Because why would they trust the generalized contractor who does kitchens, bathrooms, and roofing for their flooring job if there's just a specific contractor who just does flooring, right? At the end of the day, you're going to be able to charge more if you specialize on that, but not only that, you're going to be perceived as the authority, right? Now, another point that you have to take into account is how much are you willing to grow? Do you have what it takes to grow? And what I mean by that is that not only the radius that you're willing to cover with your services, so how much far away are you willing to go, but also the mindset that you have. Do you really have what it takes in order to grow your business? Do you know how to essentially invest or how to essentially close people? Because it has happened me a lot of times, and I've talked with honestly countless contractors, and there's one thing that they all have in common, right? And it's that they want to have more customers so that they can not only pay their employees, but make more money. And that's the desired outcome, right? Make more money, pay your employees, and essentially just have a chillful life with your family. But once you actually tell that in order to make money, you have to invest money, only the ones that truly want to grow their business are the ones who truly understand it. And not only is what it takes in order to grow your business, but again, I'm going to come back here. Kitchens below. You see their name. They literally are saying that their kitchens are probably below priced. Going to the next one, okay? CQR kitchen and bath specialists, right? They maybe do basements too, but they in fact do basements too, and they do full home remodeling. But people are coming to them because they do kitchens and bathrooms, and that is the thing that they specialize in, right? They're not going to the contractor who is just a generalized contractor. And so do you really have what it takes in order to grow it, right? Because once we have the final key of the puzzle, right? It's just a matter of time that more people gets to know about your business, which means that you'll have more opportunities to sell your services, which means that you will end up making more money. Because at the end of the day, if you know what you're talking about and you're reaching more people, 2 + 2 = 4, right? So if you're reaching more people, you're going to make more business, right? Now, bear in mind that your ability to sell will influence here, right? Although you'll end up making money, if you're a good sales contractor or if your sales reps are good, you're going to make more money than if you are average or straight up bad, right? Makes common sense. Now, another common thing that tends to happen is that whenever we're trying to get into kitchen remodeling or into roofing replacements, right, it doesn't really matter. You have to take into account the time frames, right? And what I mean by that is that people are not going to say, okay, I want the kitchen and I want it done like in a week. Maybe that can happen in some specific cases, but it's not going to happen all the time, right? People likes thinking about it. People likes talking with their dog, with their mother, father, husband, friends, whatever the thing may be. Whenever you're trying to sell a kitchen or bathroom, any type of remodeling itself, people needs to think about it, and that is normal, right? But the thing that you need to do, and again, I'm going to come back again to the same thing, it's establishing the gap from someone who doesn't even know who you are into establishing trust on your business and saying, hey, you can trust me. I'm the one, I'm the expert here. I know what I'm talking about. You can come with me, right? Now, bear in mind, this is not only taking into account the time frame that, a kitchen or bathroom or even a roof replacement takes place. People, before actually saying, okay, let's do it, has to have the money, has to have, accountability with themselves, right? And so you really have to take into account that whenever we're going into, essentially making a lot of money for a client, I'll say, okay, I'm sure that you know it more than myself, right? But just to remember it for yourself and for you, if you're a contractor and you own a business, things like this usually are slow, right? But you want to prove it as much as possible to that new coming prospect that you are the expert and you are the one who essentially is the indicated in order to make the remodel. Now, with that being said, let's move into the last point, because we already know how we're going to do it. We already have established trust. We already know how to essentially reach a new audience. We already know how we're going to do it, and we already know how are we going to do it. But now it's just a matter of time to wait for the results. And so when you take into account all these factors, results come, right? And so this is the pipeline of the contractor itself. You can see here that they have, well, 7 opportunities, 6 of them are open, 1 of them is closed. And well, you can see this is the actual value of the pipeline. This is how much revenue they are essentially making in this time frame right here. And thanks to having all this in place, all the systems, all the knowledge that is required in order to not only advertise yourself around the internet, but actually, have the systems in place, have the trust and knowing how you're going to reach it. It creates kind of this snowball effect that will eventually happen in your business, right? And so you now have a website that can establish trust with homeowners pre-estimation. And what I mean by that is that you're not only showing off about before and afters, and you're not only showing off about your reviews, but you're also showing off as the person behind the business. And that is the thing that will establish trust, because people likes buying from other people. And people needs to see other people in order to establish kind of a link between themselves and the business that they're trying to reach, right? And so if you can establish that trust before actually meeting them, you're just going to come into their homes as the authority. And then you're going to have that, maybe not the easiest sell of your life, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to discuss the price, you're going to have to discuss a lot of things. But if you just have common sense and if you know how to speak to people, you're just going to close them, right? And if it's the case, you're either ranking organically on Google to appear from whatever people searches for your services, or you're literally paying for people to see your business, which will eventually create this small ball, which will eventually create something bigger that will essentially, maybe doesn't need to explode, but will make you a lot of money, right? And what I mean by that is that, okay, this is day one. You essentially want to build this plan of actually growing your business. You have the systems in place, but you will maybe have to wait until the first appointment that comes in. Then you will have to wait until, I don't know, maybe that new ad or that new video that you're trying to post on your social media to look good is being recorded. Then you actually publish that new video that you're actually recording, or you are not even publishing one single video. Maybe you are essentially putting a lot of work into your social media, into your website, into your appointments, into your estimates, right? And so this snowball actually comes bigger and bigger until bang, you start closing deals, until bang, you start essentially making money, right? And so leads start converting into customers. And again, if you're not in the roofing niche, which an emergency can happen nearly every single week, you will have to be patient as a contractor and give love to your new coming customers, right? And so this is the exact same way, and this is how I made another remodeling contractor an extra $87,000 within just 67 days, which is I would say the better thing for such a small business, right? And this is how you can do it too. And so I will be recording a video testimonial from the contractor, but this total price right here is from the estimation. And these are 3 jobs, right? And it's a kitchen and 2 bathroom remodelings from just a single project, from one single lead itself, right? The other ones are still in talks, are still maybe thinking about it, because again, this is something slow. But if you're a roofer, and if you run into emergency services, maybe you do this money like in a single week or a single month, right? Which is the cool part. But now, on that note, this is the whole video itself. This is the whole schematic that we just went through. I hope that everything was understandable, and I hope that you got some great value out of it. If you would need any help whatsoever, you can reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, or even at my website. I'm going to leave the links down below. And so again, on that note, that was the whole video itself. I hope that you actually enjoyed and that you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.